Okay. So I'm so honored and excited to introduce Skylar. She was my inspiration really to start the Holistic Justice League because I went to actually on convention and then I saw her with her massive team. And I was like, whoa, oh my God, she has this huge downline and everyone is so healthy and so happy. And then I heard her speak right when I think you hit 2-star crown. And I was just so inspired in all the work that your team was doing and how strong she shows up for everyone. And then all of a sudden she became a 3-star crown and she keeps on rising. And I'm so honored to have her here. I know she's been doing the business for about 6 years. So it's been a while and she's still on fire after 6 years of doing this work. So it's my honor to introduce Sky. Sky, are you here? Can we hear you?
Yay, aloha everybody. I'm so honored to be here with you guys. Thank you, Seema. Thank you, Ra, and the league here.
You're so welcome. Actually, the Holistic Justice League was inspired in the Agents of Change. I was like, wow, that is so powerful. What can we do that is, can it kind of get to the Agents of Change? And that this is when the Holistic Justice League was born. So you really inspire all of us to be here.
I love that. I love that. Beautiful.
You're so welcome.
Go ahead, Emma. I was just gonna say, we both definitely came into Purium, and it was like you were the person that we were looking up to. Yeah, the first convention, you were on stage, and so thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's really my honor, and I'm so inspired to watch what you guys are doing, and you guys are just absolutely on fire too. And I just love how you came in and just completely took ownership of what you're doing here with Purium and the Holistic Justice League, and just really have created an incredible team of wellness warriors. And so, I'm excited to be here with you guys and just to share any insights or golden nuggets that I can. And I'm also happy to answer any questions as this interview or however you see fit for this to evolve.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do have some questions, but I guess before we get into the questions, because we're going to start, at the beginning of your journey, is there anything relevant do you think that you could share if you explained kind of what you were doing before Purium and why Purium attracted you, and just a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in this?
Yeah, absolutely. So prior to Purium, I was a wellness practitioner for about 20 years. I was a massage therapist. And I was also a performer. So I had 2 businesses. I had my wellness practice, and I also was a fire performer. So I had a production company out of Hawaii here, and we did a lot of traveling internationally and nationally and for festivals and things like that. So everything that I did revolved around my ability to show up in peak form physically. And there was a time, I guess it was when I was around my 40th birthday, and I really started to ask myself, like, what is my plan B? What's my exit strategy? Like, I love doing massages on people, but do I want to be schlepping my table when I'm 60, 65? Like, am I still going to be doing body work then? Like, it's a good income now, but it requires me to show up every single day trading my hours for dollars. And the same with fire performing. It's like, how long am I really going to squeeze into this skimpy costume and rock it on stage? Like, it's fun and everything, but I was really just trying to look at the bigger plan of like, okay, what is my plan B? What is my exit strategy? How am I going to put my daughter through college? How am I going to really manifest my bigger dreams, which was to buy land here on Kauai, which we just did 2.5 years ago, to be able to build our healing center here so we can really support people in overall wellness. And so I was just knowing that I wasn't going to be able to get to my dreams with the vehicle that I currently had. And I didn't really have any other options. And I was praying about it, pretty sincerely. And I was asking for support and help and guidance in that. And when we reach out, and whatever your beliefs are, if it's create whatever your beliefs are, when you ask, you're going to receive that messaging from your higher self or whomever. And right on right around while all that was happening, my daughter was going through a really intense health struggle. And sometimes like our greatest challenges and our greatest obstacles actually present our greatest opportunities. And so while she was going through this incredibly challenging time at 15, she had gained 50 pounds between the ages of 13 and 15. Sorry about my dog. She had rashes all over her body, which I directly correlated with her starting going to public school and eating the public school system food and the glyphosate and eating at friends' houses and things like that. So both of those things kind of lined up simultaneously. And my really good girlfriend, Roxanne Ruby, if you don't know who she is, she's actually my upline. She just turned 28 today. And she's one of the top income earners in our company as well. So let that be an inspiration to you guys as well. I was watching her. We were actually performing together and we were practicing for a show. Over the course of the month, I watched her go through this transformation. And I watched her cystic acne clear up. I watched the cellulite melt off of her body. I watched the light come back into her eyes. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? And she's like, this green drink thing. And I'm like, powdered juice? Like, I didn't get it at all. It just went way over my head. Didn't get it because I've been eating organic and non-GMO my adult life. I have gardens here. I live in Hawaii. Like, I just didn't get the powdered juice thing. But her transformation was so powerful that I couldn't deny it. And my daughter simultaneously was going through this struggle. So Roxanne said, you should try it. And I was like, all right, let me check it out. And when I saw the ingredients and I saw what Purium really stood for, I was actually floored. I was floored by the integrity and the level and the quality. And so we went for it. We jumped in, we bought 2 packs. And I remember when I made that purchase, it was like over $600. And I was choking on that because that was a lot of money for me at the time. But actually got on a connect call with Roxy's upline, which was Tracy Fujikani. She's a 3-star crown in our company as well. And she had said to me, hey, well, if you feel like you have some people you'd want to share this with, you can enroll into the business and you can get your products paid for. And I thought, oh yeah, I could probably do that as a wellness practitioner. I've got clients that are dealing with rampant inflammation and, I'm a performer. So, people see me. So I'm like, yeah, if it works, then I'll share it for sure. So long story short, day 3 on the transformation, my daughter, who was going through severe depression, who wouldn't come out of her room at all, came home from school that day telling me that she felt hopeful for the first time that she could remember. And this was someone who I couldn't reach. She wouldn't even talk to me. And she said, Mom, I feel hopeful. Like, I think I'm going to be okay. And we just kept going. And so we actually jumped right in. We did it backwards, right? We didn't start with the core 4. We jumped into the 10-day.
Yeah.
And
the old ways.
The old way, right? Before we got it the right way. We realized, we learned, and thank God our company is so awesome with our input. So did it that way. But meanwhile, she lost 14 pounds. I lost 9. And then we continued on. Like, my cycle came back. I was dealing with hormonal stuff that completely regulated. We did the whole 30 days. She lost almost 30 pounds in that 30 days. And she just got so lit up for life. She started surfing. She wanted to go to the beach. She started hiking. Then she went to my mom's for the summer. She came back. She lost another 10 pounds. She took all her products with her. And I was just like, what? This is just the most amazing thing, Her life completely transformed. My life transformed. I got my daughter back. But I just started sharing it. I was so excited about what I had. I couldn't believe that this was possible. And I'm like, oh my God, I've literally been looking for this my whole life. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars trying to deal with my own health issues. And that's when I became like a raw foodist and a vegan, did all these things, all these food philosophies. And when I started Purium, it changed everything. Like I said, I got my cycle, my hormones normalized. I lost that weight that I couldn't get off my body. And everything shifted, my mood, my energy, my clarity. And I was like, wow, I have something really special. And everybody needs to know about this. And I kind of just haphazardly went public. Like, there wasn't really any clear direction back then. So I just went public on Facebook with my photos and my daughter's photos, because we were just excited. Like, oh my God, you guys, like, this is unbelievable. We did this thing. And my inbox just blew up. I call that like inspiration on fire, when you don't really know what you're doing, but you just kind of, and actually I did that even halfway through. We hadn't even finished our transformation. I went public after the first 10 days. But anyway, long story short, I hit director that month and I didn't even know what I was doing. And then the next month I hit executive. And I was just so excited about what I had that I just kept sharing it. And when I saw the paychecks come in, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting paid for this, for sharing this awesome stuff that completely saved my life and my daughter's life, like winning, right? Like super excited. So that's really where it began.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've got a follow-up question, but before I get to that, Seema, do you have any comments on that?
I love how you said that your upline is only 28 years old. Isn't that crazy, guys? She's a 3-star crown, and you've been in Imperium for about 6 years, right, Sky?
Yeah, it'll be 7 in May. Mm-hmm.
So then Roxy, she was 21 years old when she signed you up.
And I was the first gift card she shared.
Wow. When I met Roxy, you know, she said she made like 3 figures. And I was like, wait, how old is she? And she's like, well, Dave is like, I always thought she was a little bit older, but when I found her age and she said she was 21, he just couldn't believe it because of how well, you know, she shows up in her character. So I love that you said that there is potential for all of us. It doesn't matter if they're experienced, if they're young, if they're old, it doesn't matter. It's just show up and do the work. And I'm not wrong.
I'm laughing at Angela. Sorry, I didn't know I was unmuted.
So it's the limiting beliefs that we have. I got what you said. The limiting beliefs that we have hold all of our potential. So whatever is keeping us small is really what holds our success. And you were able to discover that was holding your potential and break through that. So a lot of our questions are going to be in regards to that because we love how powerful you are with your mindset. So thanks for sharing all of that. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, super organic how that happened, which is really awesome because I mean, it changed your life, it changed Roxy's life, and it was as simple as just sharing what was going on naturally. And so, man, that's such a success story for network marketing also. This is how it's supposed to work, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you talked a little bit about like how you got in, how you got started, ignorance on fire. That's not the word you use though, is it?
Inspiration on fire.
Inspiration, yeah. That's another quote. You're an ignorant. All right. So what we would really like is from your perspective, right? So you have this like 7 years ago version of yourself that got in and had an understanding about Purium and this network marketing thing and sharing. And I'd really like some context of like you now, or you like going through the stages, like what sort of, this is an unclear question, but I think you can give us some information, but what sort of, what stages do you go through, like as a director to a diamond, to a 1-star crown, to a 2-star crown, to a 3-star crown? I'm asking you a question that I don't really know how to ask because you're ahead of the journey than me, but like, are there different modes of operation in terms of running the business, sharing the business as you progress through the stages?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 100%. And it, like you said, it was so organic and so kind of accidental. Like I wasn't really looking to build a business. And I actually told Tracy, I'm not looking for a business right now. I am full on with my massage practice, with my daughter, and with my production company. I don't have time. That was what I told her. So when people tell you they don't have time, it's, don't let that be a hindrance on you, because when somebody believes in something enough, they'll make time. And so I just was, like I said, I was so blown away. But that whole first year, because I said I wasn't going to do the business, I didn't do the business. I was actually completely uncoachable. I kind of did everything on my own. I didn't come to any of the company calls, any of the company Zooms. Like I just was on my own thing because I was busy. And so that I hit it director, an executive, but then it kind of stayed there for a while. And then Tracy reached out to me and as any good upline crown would, and she was just kind of like, lovingly checked in and invited me to come to the masterminds and things like that. And I was like, she encouraged me to come. You know, if you really want to build something, if you want to see this grow, I really think you should plug in. And so I did. I made that decision. There was a day where it clicked, where I was like, you know what? I do want to take this to the next level. Like, yes, I'm making some nice money right now, but it's, you know, maybe it's my car payment, or whatever. I would love to take this to the next level. But there was that place where I didn't think I had the time. And I didn't really have my belief in the industry. That was, for me, that was a big block, because I didn't believe in network marketing. I didn't really understand it. I had maybe some limiting beliefs around what people were going to think about me doing network marketing and really like owning it full on. And so I kind of like tiptoed around it for that first year. Or maybe it was like that first 6 months when I started to plug in. And when I started to plug in and I started to get the mindset coaching, and I realized, okay, if I really want to take this to the next level, then I need to learn what it means to do this business. It's a skill set, right? Like, doctors don't just become doctors, and lawyers just don't become lawyers. And even they're making the kind of money that I'm making right now, they had to spend a lot of money to get there, and they had to take a lot of time and do a lot of schooling to get there. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to become masterful at something if I don't learn the skill sets. How do I learn the skill sets? I'm going to have to immerse myself in it. So I started to invest in myself as far as the industry is concerned. I started to go to events, like, well, now, you know, we're not able to travel so much, but you can do things online, which is amazing. So I went to GoPro. I went to the mastermind event in Florida. I started to plug in and read all of the network marketing books, right? So Making the First Circle Work by Randy Gage. That one's a game changer. The 4-Year Career, amazing. Like, there's so many great books. So I started to really immerse in that and get my mindset around it and follow people that were having success, industry leaders that were having success. And the more people that I followed that were having success, and I removed that, like, that block around, oh, this network marketing thing is not legit. And I really started to see how it's responsible for so many people, transforming their lives, people that come up from nothing, people who didn't have the opportunity or the luxury to go to college or go to an Ivy League school or whatever it is, be able, you're single momming it and homeless, be able to become multimillionaires. Like, there were some stories that just touched me so deeply that I was like, wow, this is legit. This is an incredible business model, and I'm going to learn more about it. And so once I started plugging in and learning, and I got my belief that the industry was totally legit, then I started to have a posture change when I started to talk to people. And so it wasn't so much about, like, you know, is it network marketing? It's like, oh, well, how do I answer that question? Oh God, you know, like, no, don't ask me that. So, like, heck yeah, it is network marketing, and it's awesome. And I love it. And this company is amazing. And let me tell you why. So that was a big piece for me, Ra, was just kind of switching that perspective. And I think a lot of people have similar, I mean, drop me a 1 if you're one of those people who maybe still feels a little squirmy around the network marketing model or the industry, credentials or credibility as a whole. Yeah, so that's normal, you know, and don't let that be the thing that stops you from going after your dreams, because this industry is completely legit. And more than ever right now, this is a quarantine-proof income where you can earn money from home, behind your computer, doing all the things, sharing the things that you would share anyway. If you truly love these products, if you're here, I'm guessing that you love Purium and you've had a great experience, and that's why you're on this Zoom. So don't let that be the thing that holds you back. Do lean into that edge where it feels a little like, oh, and learn more about it. So follow some great industry leaders, find people that inspire you, you know, read books on it, and really lean into that edge. And I challenge you guys. This is something that was a game changer for me. When people asked me what I did, I started to say, I'm a professional network marketer. And it was really hard to say the first few times. You ever like travel on a plane or you're in a restaurant, someone says, oh, what do you do? Okay, well, how many times are you going to chase your tail trying to answer that question? And I just started to say, I'm a professional network marketer. And people will be like, what? Well, that's like, really? Well, what do you do? And then I would, you know, dive in more and tell them what I do. But I think for me, that was the biggest game changer once I leaned in and expanded into that and the possibility and really own that. And industry events are incredible. And so, yeah, that was a game changer for me. And when I made that decision, I went diamond just a couple of months later. I got my team, I got my girls on board. I'm like, let's do this. We rocked it, went diamonds. And then, yeah, it was just all up from there. So I'll just pause on that.
Yeah. And thank you so much. You just shared so much info. Do you have any other books? I still have more to say on that, but you mentioned Making the Circle. We throw around the books that we recommend, but what books do you recommend?
I have like a whole list that I can text you or Seema after the call, and then you can share them in your group and stuff like that.
Okay.
There's so many amazing ones. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the books are so good. So the breakthrough moment, right? Like this is hard to explain to people. So it's good that you just explained it. For me, it was the same thing. I didn't really trust the industry. It took my enroller 5 years even for me to enroll. So like I had massive blocks, and I know a lot of people do. So thank you for sharing what happens, and even for you to know that you were in the game for 6 months to a year before you decided to turn it on. And from everyone's perspective, you said you had executive on the second month, director on the first month. It kind of still, you were getting some success, but then to amplify, it was just all about you and your trust into this. So thank you for sharing that. It was a perfect answer.
Yeah, I relate a lot to you, Sky, because I also, when people would ask me, what do I do? I will always say, I'm an architect, and I have a business like in super, right? I was kind of like putting it up in the back burner. I never want to say it until I actually had to learn how to say I'm a professional network marketer. And I'm never going to forget that moment. I learned that also from Eric Worre from GoPro. I also went to GoPro. And he said, you need to start calling yourself a professional network marketer. And I had so much resistance. And that resistance was holding me from becoming a crown. So I can totally relate to that posture and change when you actually truly believe in the field and the skill set. As you said, it is a skill set, whether we sell superfoods or water filters, or it doesn't matter what we sell, is the skill set that makes us a professional network marketer. And if you guys can see, she's a 3-star crown. She's read all those books, and she has that posture of a professional network marketer. And this is why we encourage everyone, read. We gift a book to the new consultants, because we believe that education and personal growth is part of the success. And I wanted to ask you, Sky, so we feel it's important that everyone knows that setbacks happen, right? We explain many times, like we get somewhere with a team and then our team is gone. And then we got to start over. So could you please like elaborate on how you experience the setbacks and how you got through them? Because we have people that made it to diamond with a team and then their team is gone and they feel they have to start from scratch.
Absolutely. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much standard. I don't know any crown whose team that got them to diamond got them to crown. I don't. Before I answer that question, I just want to answer one last thing when we're talking about the network marketing thing. I think my ego was very wrapped up in the fact that I was a wellness practitioner. I was a professional performer. Like I didn't actually want to let that go because it sounded way cooler than I was, professional fire dancer. Then I'm a network marketer. So there was this piece, this like shift of like, who am I becoming and who do I want to become? And am I willing to kind of let my ego step to the side so I can really grow into the person that I want to be? But I just wanted to kind of circle back on that because that was a really huge edge for me. My ego was just like, I wouldn't want to say it at all.
Exactly. I totally relate. I swear to you, I couldn't say that I was even in network marketing first because I heard that people had negative thoughts about it. And then I was like, why? And I read the 4-year career. And then I was like, this is so cool. Like why people are even embarrassed of saying they're network marketing professionals. So it just starts with our ego and really accepting because as we know, and I know everybody believes in this, we attract what we say. So if we say, I am a professional network marketer, now you're attracting that energy of being a professional, being an expert at the subject. So that it's an affirmation that we say every time. I am a professional network marketer. I am a professional network marketer. And the more that we say, the more we start to believe it. So I love that. But about the setbacks, we really want to hear I heard that really the team that got you to Crown didn't take you to 2-star Crown or 3-star Crown.
No. And I tell you how many times I wanted to quit. How many times I was just like, ugh, I can't show up another day. Like I put so much energy and time and love and into my team. And then one day they just stop showing up. They quit because they're not getting their success fast enough. Yeah. And it hurt my heart, to feel like, wow, I put so much time and energy and I make, my team are like my friends. They become your family, you're working with them, you're talking to them, you're your homies. And then one day they just are like, they just can't show up for anymore because they lose that belief in their self, or it's not happening fast enough because we live in a swipe right culture of like instant gratification. And like, if it doesn't happen fast enough, I'm out. Nobody really we've lost this sense of what it means to truly be committed to something. And like I married Purium about 5 years ago. I was like, I am all in. And it was really because I love this company so deeply. And I stand so firmly in the mission and to leave this planet better than we found it for the generations coming. Like, it hurts. Like, that's how much it's important to me and how much I love Dave and how much he's committed his life. And anytime that I would start to feel like, oh, I just can't show up another day, I'd look at him and Amy and how they've paved the way for 30 years. Like, Dave started on the side of the road, like holding a green drink. And that's how he started Purium, right? With like the organic green kamut, like way before green drinks were cool, way before any organic was trending. Dave and Amy were on the forefront of that organic certification movement, and nobody got it then. And so to watch everything that they've gone through all of the years and all of the setbacks, like I felt like they built something so amazing. The least I can do is show up to carry it forward, because I felt like I was given this incredible gift that was in alignment with all of the things that I was praying for. So every time that I felt like quitting, I would think about that. And then I would also think about the future. Like, what do I really care about? What's the legacy that I'm leaving behind? If I quit because it's hard, am I going to get to my dreams that I want? Like, I have some really, really big dreams. And so if I quit, how am I going to get there? So I had to learn how to become emotionally detached from the outcome a lot. That was a big one for me. And just releasing people and just like, hey, like, I'll tell you what, a lot of people that fall off will come back around, but I'm not here to convince people to stay. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn. Like, I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to convince you. If you're not feeling it and you're not willing to do the work that it takes to create what you have the potential to create with this, then I'm not going to chase you. But the people that are showing up, that's where I put my energy, 110%. So I'm not like chasing people that haven't been showing the Zooms and things like that. I'm working with the people that are in front of me. Yeah, it's hard. It's heartbreaking. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I've cried on this journey. And even right before I hit 3-star Crown too, there was that moment of like, that's just like, I almost could give up. It was like, and I didn't, and I just kept going through it, and we broke through that. But it's like, anytime that you get to that stage where you want to throw in the towel, ask yourself, why am I here in the first place? And did I come this far only to come this far? And what is it that I really want to achieve? And is quitting going to get me there? And so if you knew that if you married yourself to Purium and you committed, right, for say 5 years, 10 years, that you are all in, you're not going anywhere, you're going to blow through this comp plan and you will be sitting up. They're going to have to make a new rank for you, because we've lost what it means to commit to something in this culture. I really feel that's what it is. Like, people, the next bright and shiny object, or the next flashy network marketing company, or this or that, I'm going to go there. Wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, you're going to have to do the work, and you're only going to be that much further away if you keep jumping around. And the other thing with that is you're going to lose trust with people. You build trust with people through being consistent and continuing to show up. And I promise you, like, consistency, grit, determination, perseverance, massive love and compassion for yourself as you move through it. And you're gonna get through it. But yeah, the times where it just feels really, really hard, you just got to ask yourself again, what am I showing up for? And then you have to be willing to adapt, evolve, and innovate. And that's what I've done every single time I've hit a rank. And then, the team that got me to diamond did not get me to crown. The team that got me to crown was one of the legs. And then I had to rebuild those 2 other legs. And then that team, I had to build another new leg to get to 2-star. And it was kind of like this, but every time something would kind of feel like it was fall apart, it would push me to expand more into what can I create? What can I do? How can I pull from my unique genius to make this really go? And every time I leaned into that, like, well, what is it inside of me that's most alive and most on fire and most exciting? And I'd work and do something like that. And I'd create a campaign or do something for my team or whatever. It would help to elevate it to the next level. So just be willing to dig into your creative genius and keep it alive and keep it fun and keep it interesting. I think is when it gets mundane and things like that, that is easy to fall off. But just like a marriage, just like anything that you're committed to in life, it takes work. It takes dedication. And so you have to just keep showing up. And I tell you, it's going to be times even when you don't feel like it. And oftentimes when you don't feel like it is really when you need to show up. So those days that you don't feel like making that phone call, when you don't feel like doing another live, when you don't feel like getting on that company call or that Zoom, that's the time that you really gotta show up for yourself, because you're going to build more trust in yourself. You're going to build more confidence in yourself. You're going to hit that level and you'll go to the next one and you'll just keep growing and evolving. But if you stop and if you quit, you're never going to get there. So just keep going and just keep believing in yourself and just have that vision so strong, and just don't let all that stuff on the side distract you too much.
I love that. I love how you said that you wanted to quit, because I wanted to quit so many times too. It was crazy. It was like on a weekly basis, because I wanted that instant gratification of making the money now, or it wasn't worth all my effort. And just, I knew it was a long-term commitment, but inside of my head, it's like, I want it now. And I know it's a lot of us that come in and we want our success now, but I make this analogy with school. If you want to become a doctor, you have to go to school for 10 years and you got to show up every single day to class. You can't have more than 4 or 3 absences, right? You have to keep showing up, because if you don't show up, you don't graduate. You don't get to practice. And in network marketing, it's the same. We have to constantly be showing up to class, to life, to learn, so we can actually achieve that success. Like, nobody will graduate for college if they're not showing up to class to learn, right? And the thing is that this is the 4-year career. We get to show up whenever we want, and as long as we do it and we stay committed to at least 4 years, we are going to have that breakthrough. So I love that you said that. And the pack goes to the speed of the leader, right? You kept getting up and you kept finding ways to move forward. And there was people that follow you and there's people that stay behind, and whoever was running with you, you kept on going until 3-star crown. Nothing on your exterior world was stopping you. It was just you and your mindset. So I love that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
No, sorry, Skylar, you should respond to that.
No, I was just going to say, there's just a lot of this, doesn't look like this. It's not all like neat and tidy like that. It's like, there's some really amazing days, and there's some days where you're just like, and then there's, and it's a lot of this. So if you can find a way to, by year 3, I was able to hit a stride where I had the breakthrough of like, I need to emotionally detach myself from the outcome. I cannot be like emotionally invested to what other people are doing. And I just would, once I hit that space, it changed everything. Like it was an absolute game changer for my own sanity, truly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm so happy you're here. I remember when you hit 3-star crown and you were being interviewed or presenting on one of the weekly calls for Purium. And for me, there wasn't, like, recently there was like, it was kind of like a dry spell. And then I just turned it to Seema. I was like, that was a really good call. Like she did really well. I got a lot out of that call, and you're bringing a lot here too. So it's all this, it's the subtleties of how you're talking that's important. Like you just said, it was in year 3, you released emotional attachment to the outcome. Like they're like, it took you 3 years to get to that point. And then that allowed you to break through. One thing I want to add to what you just said, at least my reflection on it, is when you said you were married to Purium at the beginning of the call, I thought I knew what you meant by that, right? It was like, okay, yeah, you're committed to it. But then just put in the context of what you just said right now, where like through the struggle, because if you're really committed to a partner, like you don't just walk out the door when there's an argument, right? You can if you're just not so serious with people. And it's the same thing with this. Like if you're fully committed, you just make it work no matter what, and you get to work making it work. You don't just wait for it to start working for you. You just say, I'm gonna make this work no matter what, as quickly as possible, however it's gonna take. And that's the takeoff moment for people.
The game changer for me when I hit 3-star, and I want to share this with you guys because this was huge for me. And I think it was like right around the time that I was like texting you, Seema, and I was like, I'm so close and I'm so far. You know that feeling when you're so close. You're like, if there was just 3 more days left in the month, this would be, have that. There was a moment where it was like 3 days before, and I was just like, this is way too much volume. Like I was tracking, you know, my activity and like, you know, I knew my ratios, and I was like, all right, well, if I need to do this much volume a day, I'm way behind. And I started to like give up. Like, even though I had already seen myself going 3-star crown that month, I felt myself starting to go, it's not possible. Like these numbers, like there needs to be a freaking miracle for this to happen. And I just couldn't see it. And then I sat down, you know, and just got into meditation mode. And I was just like, ground out, Skylar, you're tripping, you know, like you're way too emotionally attached. You're going against all your own rules. Just sit down and just quiet your mind. Just turn everything off for a little bit, go out in nature and when I came out of that meditation, my question to myself was, what can I do? What can I do? I'm not responsible for my team. I can't go and tell my team to go do all this business and put all this volume on the board. But what can I do? Well, I personally can't put that much volume on the board a day, but what can I do? What can I do? And I just kept asking the question until I got the answer. And I started to dig in, and I went into my back office and I pulled up all of my team's customers, and I went through and I sent everybody their Excel sheet. And I was like, hey guys, none of these people ordered last month. If they don't order this month, then they're going to lose their 25% off. So I sent like 40 people in my team that Excel sheet. By the end of the day, I had 10,000 more points on the board just from people following up with customers that would have slipped through the crack, which was a huge lesson to me because I've never done that before. You know what I mean? Like I never got that in where I dug in like, okay, well, who hasn't ordered last month? Who's going to lose there? And that was a huge burst of volume. So that was one of the things that I did. Then I also got in, and of course, there's many things that you can do, but that was a huge breakthrough. So when you start to feel like you're super stuck and you're completely feeling disempowered, just keep asking yourself, what can I do? Mm-hmm. Because you'll get the answer, and there's always something that you can do that you haven't done yet, even if you feel like you've exhausted everything.
Right.
So.
Yeah. You just focus on what you can control. So say you could go back in time and talk to the 2-month to 6-month into Purium version of yourself. You might have answered one of these questions already, but like, what would you say to that person, like from your standpoint now?
Well, from the perspective now, if I was my upline looking back, I would tell myself what I'm telling you guys, you know, like don't quit, go all in, just commit, say, I'm doing this thing, and just trust yourself, believe in yourself, and give yourself every opportunity to win, because it's easy to talk ourselves out of things. You know, it's easy to talk ourselves out of our dreams. It's easy to make excuses. It's like, especially now with all this craziness going on in the world, like we have to be so bedrock in our conviction about our desires, our belief, our mindset, and just scribe it, you know, and just don't quit until you get to that goal. I don't know if I would have done anything differently, because everything that I did led me to where I am now. I had to make all those mistakes in the beginning to have the awarenesses that I gained from, you know, not doing it right the first time, right? In the beginning. So I think it's all perfect. I think we're all learning, and you're going to mess up and you're going to make mistakes, like, and they may throw you off track for a little bit, but just be willing to be imperfectly imperfect. Be willing to like know that you can't get better at something and look good at the same time. You have to be a little sloppy, you know, when you go, if you're afraid to go live, for example, you know, and you're like, well, everybody does this so well and perfect in these reels and all these cool things, and I'm just going to be a mess over here. You know, authenticity is magnetic. And when you're imperfect, you're relatable. And when you're too polished, it's really hard for people to even relate to that. Like, they're like, I couldn't do that. But if you just go for it and you open your heart and you lean in with just that heart-centeredness, then you're going to inspire the people that need to hear your message. You can't be perfect for everybody, and you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. So be authentic. It's okay. The people that are right for you are going to be the ones that magnetize and align with you. If you try to be likable to everybody, then you're going to be too vanilla and you're going to lose your own character, and then you're going to be boring. So don't become like, you know, the purium person that you think you need to be. Be you, and then make it interesting, exciting, because that's what people are going to be drawn to. It's going to be you that they're going to be drawn to. It's going to be you that they're going to want to join. And you're going to make everything about purium like that much more exciting and interesting because of the way that you're spinning it and they're relating to that. And so you want people to be attracted to you because of who you are. So don't go and try to be somebody else. Don't try to compare yourself to other people in this industry that are having success or how they did that Instagram thing. Find your unique genius and go with that, because that's really where you're going to feel most empowered, and you're going to hit that place of levity where it just feels light and fun and easy. And then you're going to start to see that momentum happen in your business.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only way you can do something long-term, right? Is if you actually like it. It's the only way. So I was going to ask you something. I think you've already answered it, though. I was going to ask you about inspirational stories, but it seems like you've thrown out so many. You've thrown out your story, Roxy's story, Dave, you know, the early days of Dave, which I'm sure you've seen, you know, this company go through a huge transition. Yes. So, Seema, why don't we move on to the next question? Unless you have something to say.
I have one thing that I would offer.
Yes, please.
That was really huge for me when I did decide that I was gonna go for it. I leaned into the back office so hard. I listened to every single recording, literally, because I had to drive back and forth doing my sessions, my clients. So 2 to 3 hours a day of driving, I just listened to Dave Sandoval, Product Education. I just listened, we had, you know, a different, you know, David Litt at the time, but I would listen to all of the things. And the more repetitious, the more I heard it, the more it became part of my own verbiage and the more empowered I felt to speak it. And it was a game changer for me. So repetition is gold. And, you know, there's so many golden nuggets. And the more that I plugged in and listened and got all that, the more I listened to Dave, the more I fell in love with the company and the deeper my belief got. And so I think if you haven't really dug into your back office, if you're not showing up to the company Zooms, just, you know, if you can't, or for whatever reason, because it conflicts with your schedule, give yourself that gift of going back and learning and hearing and taking the notes, because there's so much insight and golden nuggets and information and education that we get to glean from there. So really leverage that, because that really empowered me big time. Also, when I was speaking about the products or speaking about the business, I had more polished verbiage because I was listening over and over and over again to, you know, the owners and so speak. So Leslie Zan, etc.
I relate to you, because when I started, I didn't try the transformation because it was not really in my budget at the time. So I just bought the lounge pack. So I had to share about the products, and I didn't know what it tastes like. I didn't know what they were doing. So I actually learned about the product because I watched every single video in the Purium app. I watched the super aminos video. I watched the power shake videos. I took notes. If people ask me what the ingredients are, I will go into iShop Purium and look at ingredients, and I'll copy paste. And really being exposed to those resources educated me a lot. I didn't go to my upline. I went to the resources that are already there. So I love that you touch into that topic, because you talk about being authentic and being not trying to become the Purium expert that knows what the chlorophyll does into the blood, right? Like we can't be the experts, because everybody knows you as Skylar. Everybody knows me as Seema, the architect, not as the licensed nutritionist that knows all this information about the superfoods. But knowing what the tools are, so we can send those videos, and being eloquent about what we speak, so we're, we have more trust and credibility into what we're doing, is super important. Rod, do you want to add anything?
I just want to add, the obvious, that we digest the material, Skylar digests the material. Everyone who's a successful professional network marketer is a professional. Being a professional means that you have knowledge about the profession. And so just winging it isn't really, like, the successful people, like, we don't really hear stories of people just saying, like, yeah, I just wung it. Like, no, everyone gets in and they get their nose dirty in the plethora of information. There's so much information, and just start like going through it. And over the course of 6 months or 5 years, you've seen it all.
I think we're going to ask you one more question, and then I'll ask if anyone has a question. I'd like the team to ask you something. But you've been in the business for 3 years. Oh, sorry, 6 years. That's a long time. You're 3-star crown. So what strategies do you do to keep your funnel full? Because I have brand partners that join, and a week later, they're like, I don't know any more people. Or like a month later, and you've been doing this for 6 years. So what strategy do you do to keep your funnel full? Like, what tip or golden nugget can you give us?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, be willing to be, like I said, innovative. So put it out there in different ways, right? Like, always be exciting and inviting, and I'm sure your team has, I know you guys do like group transformations, and you have things going on, different campaigns. So, you can leverage those to have different reasons to go public, to share. I am just really consistent, and here's the pieces. I don't take no for no. I take no for now, because I've learned in the 6 years that I've done this, that it took my best friend 6 years to say yes. And then she went fast art diamond. So just keep that door open to people, even if they say no. Just don't be mad or, disgruntled about it. Just, be cool about it, and just keep that door open to them and letting them know, hey, when you're ready, I'll be here, and then actually be there when they're ready. And that's the consistency piece that builds rapport over time, because people are watching you. And this is the coolest thing ever, right? So seeds that I planted years ago, like, for example, just because I'm being consistent on Facebook and, whatnot, people are reaching out to me saying, hey, I'm ready to do that thing. Are you still doing that thing? I just had a girlfriend who I haven't spoken to in 3 years. I did a post, she saw it, and she reached out to me, and she was ready. And so consistency is king in this industry. Keep showing up every single day, keep talking to people, be innovative, have different and refreshing conversations. It can't be the same thing every time. So also know your prospects, like almost like research them or investigate them, not in like a creepy stalky way, but go on at Facebook or Instagram and see what they're about before you go and you prospect them, and then engage them based off of that, knowing that you have something that you feel would be a commonality, right? And so whether that be, if they're struggling with something or they've said something, you're going to start a conversation, engage them based off of that topic. And the conversation might go for a while. It's not always just going for the jugular and you're like going for the prospecting. It's open the relationship, build the relationship, pace with them over time. There's like a 3-month germination period too. So just know that if you're planting a seed, you're not going to plant a seed and eat the fruit on the same day, as is nature, right? You're going to plant a seed, it's got to germinate, then it's going to sprout, then it's going to grow. I mean, it's the same thing in this industry. So don't expect that you're going to talk to somebody, you're going to say one thing, you're going to present one thing, and they're going to say yes. Like, you have to nurture that. You have to water that. You have to make sure it's getting enough information, and over time too. And then just know that the seeds that you're planting now may not sprout today, but they may sprout in 3 months. And again, that's just what I've seen in my business. I'm just always keeping that open. I'm always keeping that funnel open. I'm reaching out to people. There's something that I always do where I wish everybody a happy birthday. So I'm always staying connected. Because, you know, this is network marketing. It's like our network is our net worth. And so we want to keep our relationships our top priority. And it's not just about, I want to sell you something. It's like, I actually care about your life. Like, I take time to go on people's Facebook pages and comment on their posts. When I see a happy birthday, I send everybody a happy birthday. And it's just like, happy birthday. It's happy birthday, Jordan, heart emoji, ... You're so awesome. Thank you for being a light in this world. You know, you're taking that time. You see something that inspires you, let them know. Maybe they did a story, or they posted something, or they got married, or whatever. Just let them know that you're there. And when they see something on your page that you're promoting a group transformation, or you're selling something, or doing something, they're going to see you too in your algorithms. And then they're also going to think of you as, wow, that Skylar person, or whoever that person is awesome. You know, she's always like so kind and caring, and, you know, you're going to build that rapport. And because we have, like, even though we have social media and we're all so super connected, we're the most disconnected culture that we've ever been. We're the most disconnected we've ever been in human times, I feel. And so to actually make connections with people is huge. So say there's somebody on Instagram who I'm really inspired by. I will go in their messenger and I'll reach out and I'll let them know, hey sis, like, I so love your page. I really love what you stand for. That post you did was so amazing. I'm so inspired by you. I would love to connect. Maybe we could collaborate sometime, or I'd love to share with you more about what I'm doing, or I have an opportunity that I think would be very much in alignment with who you are and what you're doing. Could we schedule some time to chat? Make friends, you know, become like a professional. That's why I feel like we're professional best friends, and just collect friends over time, and just don't rush it. You know, it's like that instant gratification thing. It takes time to foster relationships. So let them foster themselves naturally, and it'll turn out to really benefit you in the long run too, as long as you're still here.
I love that answer. I love how you are intentional. Right? You are sending these messages because she's being intentional. She's networking with a purpose. She's networking with something in mind, and it's to connect, to either help them physically or give them another opportunity for finances. But she's just showing up for herself and for other people. So making connections is difficult now because we're in lockdown, we're in quarantine, but we can be intentional on social media. We can search for people that have similar interests as we do, and start networking and engaging in conversations. And eventually, as we always say, they're going to complain about their health or their finances or their friends. They're going to complain about something. And with Purium, we have all solutions, really. So I love that. I love everything that you said. It's like music to my ears. I'm sure it is to you guys too. So I want to open it up for just 5 more minutes. If anyone has any questions for Sky, it's an honor to have her here. So would anyone want to unmute yourself and ask a question?
I'll go ahead, guys. Hi, I'm Danielle from New Jersey. And Skylar, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on and your time here with us today. I remember listening to you at convention earlier this year, and you inspired me then, and you were a light then. And so when I saw your face pop up, I was like, oh my gosh, I know her. I mean, you don't know me, but you know, like I was like, oh yeah, like you're a celebrity. So thank you so much. And I got so many good nuggets from what you said. And I really love that you talked about being emotionally disconnected from the results. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So nice. Thank you, Danielle, for your sweet words. And it's nice to meet you.
Anyone else? You guys always have a lot of questions.
Yeah, Skylar covered so much though. The 3 month later or 5 year later, when someone says no, that's huge. That's huge for us to know that all the work that we're doing now, planting seeds, like every single one of them could still sprout in the future.
Absolutely. And they do often, more than not, actually. I've seen, like, I go through my old network notebooks and, because I go back to revisit from my first one and be like, okay. And I've crossed off pretty much every single name. They're either a customer or a brand partner, So, like, again, it's the consistency, like it's everything. And people are watching you. So just remember that people are watching you. We are in a culture of voyeurs, and this is like a voyeuristic culture. So people are watching you, even if you don't think they are. So be consistent, because we have something that everybody needs, especially now. We're in a time where there's this density happening energetically and planetarily, where people are looking to emerge and uplift from this fog, so to speak, that we're in. And we have a tool to help people awaken their consciousness, because food is consciousness. And right now people are eating dead food. They're not able to get proper amount of oxygen because they're walking around wearing a mask. We're disconnected from people emotionally right now. So more than ever, we have an opportunity to be a lighthouse, and lighthouses don't go around running around chasing sinking ships. We stand there and we shine and we show people where to go, where we're going. And just remember that we are here to guide people. So if you have a group transformation coming up, and we know that people are suffering right now, like emotional, how Purium and these products are able to love you even when you can't love yourself, that ability to kind of clear that fog and be able to restore us back to a state of balance of emotional and mental well-being. Like, everybody needs that right now. And not to mention a quarantine-proof income, because a lot of people don't have their jobs anymore. And so we can help them with both. We can give them an opportunity to feel better and to be able to create an additional stream of income from home. So don't be afraid to ask people, hey, do you keep your options open to create an additional stream of income outside of what you're already currently doing? Like, has this lockdown affected your income? Have you ever thought of, creating a business online? Have you ever thought about, how you could monetize your Instagram and your Facebook? Would you like me to share more with you about how you could do that? I would love to. I've been doing it for 6 years, and I would love to share more with you about that. And I would love to have you as part of my team. So
I do have a question.
Please go ahead.
I'm new to the business and I'm excited, but I want to see what advice would you give someone that just became a brand new mom, going back to work, being a wife? There's so many roles that we play, and how do you come to a schedule, or how do you manage those many roles?
Oh, congratulations on being a new mama. That's huge. And obviously your first and foremost priority. So I think the first thing is, time blocking, looking at your day and going, where can I fit this in? Some people can just build their business. Like, I have a woman on my team. She's a blue diamond. She has an autistic son. She's raising her 2 twin grandbabies and her other daughter, child that was abandoned. Super intense, but she's literally built her business 5 minutes at a time. And she says, you're just looking for the one. You're just looking for the one. Can you help one person a day? Who is that one friend near and dear to you that could benefit from these products the way they've helped you? And sharing your story, Patricia, too, as a new mom, how are these products helping you have more energy, have more patience, have more clarity, have more time, right? So how many new moms do you know that are also looking for a solution, that you're going to be able to share that with them? And as your story evolves and as you use these products, and even if it's you with one hand with the baby on your hip, throwing it in a shaker cup,
That's
and like, okay, I've got
She's
my
right here.
nutrition. Exactly. It's hard to feed yourself when you're like trying, mom life. So be exactly who you are. Go live with what is true and real for you in front of you, because there's so many other people that are juggling marriage and children and jobs and trying to keep it all together. And I would just invite you to lean into, remember, like, how Purium has helped you, and then sharing that more. from that place, because so many people can relate to you, especially new moms. So I think that's a huge demographic for you too.
Thank you.
Skylar, I have a question for you. So I'm sure over the course of your 6-year career, you've hit plateaus, and I'd love to know what you've done to change things up to overcome those plateaus.
Absolutely. Yes, plateaus, they're real, and they're, sometimes it's okay to take a break. I just want to say that too. It's okay. Like we can't be in full momentum, full go time all the time. Like right before hit 3-star crown, I literally took a month off. And I mean, I'm glad that I was able to do that, but I told my diamonds, you guys lead the Zooms. You guys have everything you need. I'm taking a break. I'm going on a vacation. I'm going to spend time with my family, and I did. But then when I came back, I was that much better. It's not like I quit. I gave up on Purium and I totally disappeared. I just took a step back to regain my inspiration, because we can't pour from an empty cup. And if we're giving, and we're trying all these things and we just feel exhausted, that too is what's going to come through your energy. And so you have to come from a place of fulfillment when you're in, when you to get out of that plateau. So for me, I have daily self-care practices. And of course, meditation is huge for me. Once I started a meditation practice, I really attribute going 3-star crown to my meditation practice, because I didn't have one prior, like a year ago at convention when I made the commitment. And I said, I'm going to commit to a daily self-care practice, which involved meditation, exercise, and journaling, and getting really clear every single day, and starting my morning without turning on my phone, and really starting my morning with me. And that was a game changer, because I was able to start getting more direct channel of information that was filling me. And it wasn't me trying to grasp at it. It was actually coming through me. So give yourself that downtime when you need it. And that doesn't mean, cast everything aside, but it means give yourself that break when you need it. And then, like I said earlier, you have to be willing to adapt, evolve, and innovate. So whatever's not working, throw it out. If it didn't work last year and it's not getting you where you're going, ditch it, throw it out. It's time to try something new. Don't be afraid to try new things. It does, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It may not work. You might be throwing pasta at the wall a few times before something sticks. But be in your joy. Do what makes you feel alive and makes you feel happy, because that is magnetic. And that is a frequency of abundance, is when you're in a place of true joy. So feed yourself, fuel yourself, energy, your energetic, emotional, spiritual bodies, and then you have something to bring. And I promise you, if you do that, you're going to get that information, that'll come through you, and it'll feel more aligned and less of a struggle, like you're not trying so hard. So allow yourself those moments of grace. We can't go all the time. We're human beings, not human doings. And, we think that our self-worth is based off of our level of productivity, but we have to remember that's not true. And our self-worth is really based off of, how deeply connected we are to ourself and to our source and to whatever, whatever beliefs are in that way. So take more time for you to have that introspection, to find what's most alive for you, and then bring that to the world, because that's what the world needs. More people who are alive and lit up. And I think that will also help you feel to get out of that rut too, change it up.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is a great call. I really appreciate you being here.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. So awesome. What a great team and awesome leadership too.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Sky. We appreciate you so much. Everyone is really happy. I'm beyond honored to have you here, and I know the rest of the team is. You're gorgeous inside and out. I always admire you. Danny admires you. So many of us. You're a celebrity to us, like she said. So thank you for your time, and we're gonna go and get it. We're not gonna quit. We're gonna keep doing the work. And we can't wait to see you in person again. And
I missed convention so much this year. I was like sad. So hopefully sooner than later, we'll be able to gather again in person.
Yes.
You know, and these Zooms, like, stay close to the fire, you know, like, this is your huddle, this is your campfire, stay close, stay warm. You get too far away from it, you're going to get cold out there and you're going to lose that inspiration. You have incredible leadership. And I just really want to commend you guys, Ra and Seema, for everything that you've built. The massive amount of success you've had in such a short time is super inspiring. And you've really re-inspired me, bringing your energy to the company. And I look forward to future collaborations with you and your team.
Thank you.
So thank you for having me.
You too.
Thanks, Skylar. Super awesome call.
Yes, it was. Well, thank you, everyone. Go and get into your whiting